Kia ora e te whānau. Welcome back to my channel Wairoa Wellness. My name is Bo Kay and I'm speaking from Ōtepoti Dunedin in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I am stoked that you have tuned into this video because in the last video, Duality and Polarity number 2, I mentioned that this is going to be the next video. So I'm not going to put this one under Duality and Polarity though. It's going to have its own heading because whatever conversation we have and whatever question we answer, at the center of it is this conversation that we're having today. So I'm really excited to be sharing this chat with you. And if you are enjoying the chats that we have, please feel free to share the love with your community and hit the subscribe button as well to keep up to date with future videos. And if you have any questions that you would like me to answer in a future video, pop them in the comments or share your own insight or share your own journey. I would love to hear from you. I consider these videos actually as chats and discussions. Yeah, so feel free to share as well. I have a Facebook page that directs people here, so you're welcome to follow me on Facebook. It's not a personal page, it's purely for cool stuff. But to find me easily, it's got the profile photo is an electric blue butterfly. I've written it's called Metamorphosis, a cool poem that I would actually like to share in a future video. And this butterfly that's in the profile picture is inspired from that photo, from that poem. And the cover photo is soul energy, blue electric energy beings, which I've had an incredible... That image is inspired by an incredible experience I had with blue energy beings, which I may talk about in a future video as well, but that's not what we're here for today. So, yeah, today is going to be a cool chat, so grab your cup of coffee, no mai haere mai, e noho, whakarongo mai, and let's get chatting. So, in the last video, we talked about balance, briefly. We talked about holding light and dark and integrating both ends of the spectrum within ourselves. And we talked for a split second about Star Wars. There is the dark force, and there are the Jedi who also use the force. And they often talk about the need to bring balance to the force. And what is interesting about that is when they talk about the need to bring balance to the force, they talk about the balance coming from a person. That's cool. That's interesting. So we are going to go deeper into that. So balance. What if we are not just meant to be balanced, what if we are meant to be the balance itself? There is a difference, and the difference changes everything. When we speak about the 0 point, the still point or the 0 point, you've probably heard of these terms. You probably already know about it, but some of you, this may be a new concept. The still point or the 0 point. We're not speaking about emptiness. We're not speaking about nothing. We're speaking about neutral potential. The point from which polarity arises. It is not positive and it is not negative. It is the center. It is pure essence. It is unbiased awareness. And importantly, it is not judging. The 0 point does not label one side good and one side bad. It does not favor light, and it does not condemn darkness. It simply sees with clarity, fully, without distortion. If you imagine a wheel spinning, actually, I've got a wee visual aid because I can't figure out how to put a visual up here in the screen for you to see. I have to ask my daughter how to do that. I've got a visual aid for you. So let's see if it works. Hey, yeah, you can see that. That's the outer rim there that we're going to be talking about. It's a bit noisy. I hope that it's not too noisy for the video. I grabbed this out of my spice drawer. The spices sit on it and you can rotate it. So we're going to be using this. At the children's playgrounds here in New Zealand, I'm not sure about in other parts of the world, but if you know what I'm talking about, use this analogy because it is excellent. So at the children's playgrounds, they have this thing that's about on this angle and it's round, and you have to stand on the outer rim, and it spins. You have to balance on it. So if you know what I'm talking about, use that because that's a great analogy. So if you imagine a wheel spinning, on the outer rim, everything is moving. The faster it spins, the more you have to adjust. You have to. You lean left, you lean right, you go faster, you go slower, you compensate constantly. To remain steady on the rim requires constant effort. It requires balancing, and balancing implies movement. It implies managing forces. But at the very center of the rim, at the very center of the wheel, there is stillness. Movement happens all around it. But at the very center, there is stillness. The rim turns, the world spins, life happens, forces pull, but the center remains steady. Not because it resists movement, it's not resisting movement, but because it is the point around which movement happens. On the rim, you have to try to be balanced. At the center, you are the balance. Neutrality is that center point, and neutrality is often misunderstood. It is not weakness, it is not silence, it is not avoidance, it is not condoning. Non-judgment does not mean lack of discernment. You can recognize harm without feeling anger or hatred. You can set boundaries without rage or resentment. You can take action without being consumed by polarity. Neutrality is not the absence of action. It is action chosen from clarity rather than reaction. It is response rather than reaction. Sometimes non-action is the best action. It is strength that is not emotionally hijacked. When you live from the rim, you are constantly correcting, reacting, managing emotional swings. You shift. When you live from the center, something shifts. You are no longer pulled by every fluctuation. You are no longer a boat without a sail, just being pulled in every direction, wherever the tide takes you, that's where you go. Wherever the waves push, that's where you go. You are no longer pulled by every fluctuation. Light and dark still exist. Emotions still arise. Movement still happens. Life still happens. But they move around you. Your nervous system stabilizes. Perception clears. Choice becomes conscious. Choice becomes conscious intention. This is sovereignty. This is sovereignty. This is where unconditional love is often misunderstood. It is often described as a feeling, as emotion, a warmth, a softness, but emotions fluctuate. Emotions fluctuate. They rise and they fall along the spectrum. If love were only an emotion, it would not be unconditional. Unconditional love is not emotion. Unconditional love transcends emotion. It is higher than emotion. It is neutrality embodied. It is the 0 point expressed through the heart. It does not idolize light. It does not reject darkness. It sees both without judgment. And from that clarity, it responds consciously. Unconditional love is not passive, far from it. It is profoundly steady. It is the axis. It is the axis. Perhaps the goal, just to close this video, perhaps the goal is not to eliminate darkness, not even simply to balance light and dark. Perhaps the invitation is to move from the rim to the center, not trying to balance. To move from managing polarity to embodying the center, the axis. From trying to be balanced to becoming the balance itself. The still point, the 0 point, the non-judging center. And when you live from there, you do not fight the force. You become the stabilizer. You stabilize the force. Kia ora.